My name is Kunle Adeyanju. I'm the guy that just completed the London to Lagos bike ride. I was born in Kano. My parents were in Kano then. My mom was she was a finance person. She was a commissioner then in Kano State. That was back then. I was born then. We emigrated out afterwards. Then, lived in various places. Then I came back to Nigeria. Then, I lived my life here. I work here. I've worked for companies like British American Tobacco. That's BAT. That's actually where I started my career. Then I worked for them for like about 7 years. Yes, I worked for them. From there, I moved to Ando Gas and Power, where I worked for 18 months before Shell Petroleum poached me. And I worked for Shell for like about 15 years plus. Then before I just said I had enough working for people, I want to work for myself now. And I think I left Shell 2019, yes. I school in Nigeria and I school abroad. I'm presently doing my PhD in University of Arizona. I'm doing my PhD in organizational leadership. I did my university in Nigeria, ABU Zaria. Asking about what did I do, my motivation for this. For me, basically, it's all about giving back to the community, seeing how I can use my skills, my gift, my talent, my lifestyle to benefit the less privileged, to try to impact the world in my own little way, and to try to see how I can bring change to the lives of people for the better. So basically, that is my motivation for this. Well, polio is related because to me, polio is a personal thing. While growing up as a child, I had a friend that had polio, and it's late now. And I remember back those days that when we were doing all those things kids normally do, which is like you go playing football, you go swimming, you go running and all those stuff. He couldn't do it. I know the pain he went through. He was my best friend. I don't know, I can't say categorically he died as a result of the polio. That's not true. But I'm sure from my experience, from what I know about him, the polio contributed to it because part of his life was altered. And I know living was painful for him, painful for him, for his family. So my point is, if I can use my skill, my resources, my gift, my talent, to try to make sure another child doesn't go through that, then the hell I'm gonna do it, and that's exactly what I did. Well, it's both, because if you look at it, the fun is part of it, okay? But the key thing for me here is actually the awareness and vaccine acceptance. Like, if you look at COVID, for example, a lot of government destroyed quite a number of COVID vaccine because there was vaccine hesitancy. People were not taking it. So if we get the polio vaccine and people are not taking it, what is the point? So first is we need to really educate people. Let them be aware of this. Let them see that, yes, Africa is polio-free, but the polio is still here. The virus is still here. If we don't continue to immunize our children, polio will come back. So first is the key driver here is to first create the awareness. Let people know that the danger is still here. And we have the technology, we have the vaccine to do it. All we need to do is vaccinate those children, all our children, against this virus. So that is the first driver. Then the second driver also is to raise funds to support this drive. So the strategy is in both ways. The mission is using that mission to first create the awareness, communicate the message, try to improve the level of vaccine acceptance. That's basically reducing the incidence of vaccine hesitancy. And if we can do that, then basically, we'll make her to help keep polio out of Africa. Let me say the response has been very good, very, very good from what I've been hearing. But I don't have access to what is being raised. Like I've been saying to everyone, this fund doesn't come to me. It goes straight to Rotary International. So I don't have access. If you ask me how much has been raised, I don't know. And I basically wanted it this way because I want everything being donated by people to go straight to Rotary. Straight to Rotary International, not here, not for me. My contribution is self-financing the adventure, which is what I've done. It's been a heck of a ride. The challenges has been enormous. It's tough. Every day of the ride from the one that I started in London has been a heck of a ride, because let me talk about the little challenges from coming in from Europe. You think there are no challenges in Europe, but it has its own risk. You know, the risk on the road are diverse. If you look at it in Europe, you come in from first, you have to cope with the sub-zero temperatures. That's like sub-freezing temperatures, you know, -0. So it's extremely cold. The cold was troubling. 2, you need to cope with strong winds. Then number 3, you need to cope with black ice. You know, because of the sub-zero temperature, ice forms on the road. And when cars go over ice, it becomes black ice. That black ice is extremely slippery. You make one mistake, you go down. So those are the challenges you have in Europe. Then when you cross into Africa, it has its own challenges, its own dynamic challenges. You have the issue of the Sahara. The Sahara is one of the most inhospitable places on earth. Because if the wind doesn't try to kill you, the sun will try to kill you. If the sun doesn't try to get you, the heat will try to kill you. Then coupled with the isolation, the loneliness. For almost like 200 kilometers, you may not see anyone. So you can imagine, like here in Nigeria, you're riding from Lagos to Ibadan, and you don't see anybody. It's just pure heat, you and the Sahara. And it's extremely dry, you know, because the Sahara is dry and windy. It blows out, it dries out the hydration in your body, so you get easily dehydrated on the Sahara. It is extremely tough. I remember 2 occasions I experienced sandstorm. You know, sandstorm is, you know, like, you know, this swirling storm. It's so bad that I can't see this helmet in front of me. So you had to park. And you can't stand the bike. You need to lay the bike down on the Sahara. And you have to lay yourself down and cover your head because of the sun. So it's really tough. And you know, this thing doesn't last 5 minutes. Sometimes some could last an hour. So imagine lying down on the sand in the heat of the Sahara and with the strong wind trying to lift you up, just waiting for the storm to pass. And I went through this like 3 times. Well, let's look at it this way. First, let me look at my personal experience. Yes, I was denied entry. It was painful for me because I rode 400 kilos. You know, I rode from Bamako to the border called Tangarila. And after riding 400 kilos, you know, I was denied entry. I waited there for almost like 6 hours trying to call everyone to see what can be done. But after 6 hours, when it was getting late, I realized nothing could happen, so I had to turn back. So for me personally, emotionally, that was painful. But let's look at why they denied me. While I was leaving Mali to go into Burkina Faso, the Nigerian ambassador gave me a laissez-passer. He issued a laissez-passer for me to ingress into Côte d'Ivoire. First, there is an ECOWAS blockade on Mali because of the military coup they did in Mali. So that blockade forbids anybody from coming into Mali, from Mali into any ECOWAS country, anybody. So if you have to go in, you need to get a special permit, which is the laissez-passer that has to be issued by the ambassador. But the Nigerian ambassador issued me the laissez-passer. When I got to the Côte d'Ivoirian border, the Côte d'Ivoirian border said, Côte d'Ivoire is a sovereign nation. Nigerian ambassador doesn't have the authority to issue a laissez-passer on Côte d'Ivoire. And I agree with them, because if it's Nigeria too, we won't take it. Côte d'Ivoire cannot tell us who to accept into our country. So they were justified. But, you know, on my side, it was painful. But I realized that they did the right thing. So that's the issue. Then, okay, because so it was on a Sunday. The Nigerian ambassador in Mali were trying to get the Côte d'Ivoirian ambassador, but it wasn't available. So I decided to, instead of just staying there at the border, I returned to the Burkina Faso border called Sikasso, also another 400 kilometers away. So I ingressed into Burkina Faso on Monday. So by Monday morning, the Nigerian ambassador has finished the the laissez-passer. So they sent it to me, then I was able to go into Côte d'Ivoire. Like I told you, I did a total of about 12,000 kilos, right? 3,100 kilos in Europe, up to Algeciras in Spain. That's the border of Europe Then you cross the Mediterranean Sea, that's the Strait of Gibraltar, into Tangier. Then from there, I did 9,000 plus kilos down to Nigeria. So I experienced Africa. So let's leave Morocco because it's not Africa, not part of West Africa. But Mauritania is partly ECOWAS. They left, they're trying to come back. They had to issue me a visa, okay? It didn't take any time, because it just took you pay 50 pounds or something, 50 euros, sorry. 50 euro, and I got the Mauritanian visa. That was not a problem. But from Senegal down to the other, they were ECOWAS. It's visa free, okay? You don't pay. You just get in there, you get your visa. Yeah, there are challenges, I expect that in Europe, if you have a dual nationality, once you cross into an European country, it's soft border, you just go. You don't see, there are border there, but it's hypothetical, it's soft, that's why they call it soft border. You don't see any restriction, no policeman, no nothing. But in Africa, it's amazing because we call, let's even say ECOWAS. It's supposed to be a common entry, free entry for everyone. But it's in code because every country I go to in West Africa, they still have to stamp my passport. So if it's free entry, why are you stamping my passport? So it's actually visa on arrival, it is not free entry. Because what is visa on arrival? When you get in, they stamp you in and you're allowed to go. You don't pay, right? It's the same thing they are doing. So if we're saying ECOWAS is free passage for all ECOWAS countries, it doesn't happen. Because this is what happened to me all through from Senegal to Mali, to Burkina Faso, to Cote d'Ivoire, to Ghana, to Lomé, then to Benin. That's exactly how it happened. Even Nigeria, my country, stamped me when I was coming in. So that's what it is. So for me, I don't think ECOWAS is working as it was being stated on the papers. It doesn't work that way. Every continent has its own challenges. The 9,000 kilos in Europe, yes, you may say it's a straight road, it's this, it's that. But I tell you, the 9,000 kilos I rode in Africa is one of the best 9,000 kilos of my life. It was the best experience. I've had the opportunity to visit about 75 countries in the world. But I tell you, my discovery of Africa on this trip is the best discovery of my life. Because, before I started this trip, I read a lot of, information about all this country I was going to travel to. I'm a guy who likes planning. Maybe due to my training, my upbringing, the kind of companies I've worked for in my life, before going on my own. I believe in planning. So it took me a year to build this plan. And I had to read, a lot about this country, the CIA fact book, SIS information, all this intelligence information about this country. I just wanted to know, what are how do these people live? So I can be prepared. I have information about their lifestyle, what they do. But I tell you, everything I read about Africa was totally different from what I saw when I get there. Everything you read, actually because of some things I read about them, it altered some countries which I didn't go through. I knocked off some countries from my trip. Like Burkina Faso, for example, wasn't part of my plan. I only went into Burkina Faso because I was denied entry in Cote d'Ivoire. So you see, and I took Burkina Faso out because everything about that country was red zone. Mali was red and amber. So I only chose country that is slightly, green and amber, those are the countries I chose. Any country that is fully red, I knocked them off. But when I went through these countries, 9,000 kilometers, not just through the cities, but through the town, the villages, the hamlets, the lonely places, the isolated places, I saw that the story of Africa has actually been misrepresented. That is not the story of Africa that I read in the papers. If you read most of these Western media, what do they say about Africa? The only thing they describe us is safari, jungle, animal. That's the only thing they talk about in Africa. But I discovered that the story of the African people, the hospitality of the African people, the diversity of our culture, It tells a much, much better and richer story than the jungle and the safari that they talk about in the papers. And that's exactly what made me to start this hashtag, Think Africa, because I discovered that everything they said there was a lie. It wasn't true. I'll give you an example. There was this time I had a tire incident in Mali. Because of the ECOWAS blockade on Mali, when I was getting ingress Mali, it took quite a while before I could get in. So I think I got there I finished the course with the custom about 7 p.m. So I was riding in the night, then a truck blinded me, swerved into my lane. So while trying to avoid the truck, I ran into a pothole. Then I lost my red tire. That was about 9 p.m. in the night. Guess what? And where I lost the tire, there were lions there. It was a park. And in the night, the animals, they have infrared eyes. They can see you. You won't see them. By the time you see them, it's late. So I was worried because then I said, now I'm a sitting duck. If a lion comes to me, what can I do? So I was saying, okay, the only thing I need to do is to put height between me and any animal. So I was looking for a tall tree to climb. I was running to climb the tree. And as I was climbing the tree, then I saw a light far off, 400 meters away. Then I came down from the tree. I sprinted to the village. Then when I got to the village, it was a small hamlet, just 3 houses, 3 thatched houses. And when I got there, as they saw me the way I was running, the first thing they did was they ran, So when they ran, then I looked back and they saw that it was only one person that made them to run. So all of the village and I turned back, like this kind of, they came to me and they saw me the way I was panting. And so they first said, calm down, calm down, calm down. Then, I couldn't speak French. I don't speak French. And so it was difficult to communicate to them. So I saw a bike, which they have a bike. So I was now using the bike to tell them explain what happened to me. So when the wife of some of them saw the way I was panting and everything, sweating, they brought me a chair. They told me to sit down. They brought water. They gave me water to drink. They calmed me down. They just said, hold on, just calm down, get your breath first. And when I was relaxed, the men there, 4 of them, they took their sticks, their clubs, their cutlasses. They followed me. And I was asking them, why the club and the sticks? They said, because what if a lion comes? That's what they need to defend all of us. They followed me to where the bike was. They recovered the bike for me, pushed it to their village. Remember, this was about 9:10 in the night, 10 p.m. Pushed it to their village. On the way, I got network. I called my interpreter that I left 30 kilometers back. So I told him to charter a vehicle. He came down to rescue me from that village. So by the time he would come, it was already 11, 12. So I was with these people for close to 4 hours. They didn't harm me. They helped me. They comforted me. They gave me water. They didn't make me feel alone. Tell me, that is hospitality. These are the same people, the CIA fact book, right? All those intelligence reports I read were saying, once you're in a problem, you're probably dead. Don't do this, don't do that, don't go there. That is not what I read. To me, that was a shock surprise. And I tell you, that was the same experience with people I have. You see innocent people going about their job on the way, waving you, smiling at you, stopping you that they want to take pictures with you. That is my discovery of Africa. They know the kind of person I am. I'm this kind of outdoor physical person. I like all those adrenaline stuff. I like all those things. They know it's what I do, and good enough my children took after me. Also, one thing they know that I plan very well, that I love taking risks, but I don't take stupid risks. So they know I do things like that, and because of that, all they just say is, okay, come on, Dad, go do it, but make sure you come back. So that's what it is. Well, reception in Nigeria is mind-blowing. You know, I thought what I got in West African countries, what I just realized is it keeps getting better. You know, from Mali was a bomb. No, sorry, I thought Senegal was a bomb, but when I got to Mali, I said Mali was an atomic bomb. But when I left Mali, I got into Burkina Faso, because I didn't plan to go there, so it was just like a short notice. But yeah, they became a bomb, not an atomic bomb. Then from Burkina Faso, I went into Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire was a bigger atomic bomb, Then from Côte d'Ivoire, I went into Ghana. Ghana was hot. Those guys are good, man. Then so from Ghana, I went into Lomé. Lomé was okay, was nice. They actually surprised me, for the first country I went into. And I got to the border and I saw like they got in, is it 3 police riders? The song I rode after in front of a president. They had 3 police riders in front of me. They have like about 100 bike riders waiting for me. They made a lot of banners. And, they stopped all the cars for me. Then we rode into the town. It was cool. It was nice, it was fun. So they really tried. Benin guys were very good, very, very good. Since I actually got into West Africa, I stopped riding alone. I wasn't riding alone, rather. Each country, they organize their rider, the Rotarians there, they organize their rider and they sort of like accompany me to every point. Like the Ghana people rode with me to Aflaho. Aflaho is the border of Ghana and Lomé. The Lomé guys were already at the border waiting. So they took me from there. We went into Lomé, did everything. So after 2 days stay in Lomé, they took me to the Benin border, handed me over to the Benin guys who were there. So Benin took me from the border. We went into their town, Cotonou, did everything we wanted to do, the meet and greet and stuff like that. So they took me to the Nigerian border. Then when I got to the Nigerian border, oh my God, it was something else. It was like the whole of Badagry went down. I don't know, but from what I saw, I'm not good at estimating things like that, but maybe 500,000 people. It was so difficult to move. It was so difficult, because even the police, the custom, and the immigration guys who were there were practically fighting everyone, pushing everyone. The army had to come to join them, pushing everybody, it became like a tug of war, but it was a show of love and was really nice. So to all the people in Badagry, all the people who came, I just say thank you. Thank you so much.